My name's Annie Lord and I'm an author of Notes on Heartbreak and Vogue UK's dating columnist.
Nice to meet ya, introduce ya to the real me.
I almost feel like I have two different brains on nights out. Like one where it's like I'm with my friends and then one's like I want to get with someone. You know, because when you first break up, it's like you keep turning around thinking they're gonna be there. It's really shocking when you like wake up and they're not in the bed. I'm more of like a wet flannel Labrador kind of vibe.
You've just written this like beautiful book on
Thank you.
heartbreak. Sometimes it like reads like poetry. It's so like, yeah, it's just really, really nice. How did you end up like coming to write about love? And obviously you got your column in Vogue.
Oh, I wrote an article about my ex that went kind of viral for Vice, and that's how I started getting into like writing about myself and like love and dating and things. And just had one of those things where you, I don't know, it just unlocked something in me. I just think I really like talking about myself. And like, when I was writing about the breakup in that article, I would have sort of those like classic thing of like waking up in the night and thinking of something and writing it down. And it just made me feel really passionate about writing again.
That's so cool though. Did it help you like move on? Like, did it help you in the process of moving on to write about it?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I can't really process like how I feel about things unless I write them down. Like when I feel stressed or whatever, I'm always like journaling, or, you know, if I'm like annoyed at someone, I'll need to like write down why I'm annoyed, and then it will make sense in my head. Like I don't know if I'm the most articulate person, but writing, I can really process all my thoughts. I tend to write in quite a like stream of consciousness sort of way and just really get it out, and then after go in and sort it out. I think that's why the book kind of reads a bit like a diary in a way, or like notes.
Yeah. Is it from notes like that you kept when you were going through it?
Really cringe. Like it sort of started because I, you know, I feel like it's quite a classic breakup thing, but you were writing like a really intense love letter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been a love letter person. Yeah. But I was like, when I was upset, I sort of sat down to write a letter, and it wasn't like I thought that like writing this would make him get back with me or something, but I just felt like what I was struggling with was the idea that I was going to forget about our relationship, and because I think to move on in a lot of ways you have to forget about what happened, you two, like, you know, because when you first break up, it's like you keep turning around thinking they're going to be there, or like ask you a question, and it's really shocking when you like wake up and they're not in the bed and like all this stuff. And part of moving on is forgetting about them and getting used to living without them. And I think I kind of want to write a love letter to like put everything that we'd experienced down, and then it being there, I could be like, cool, now I can move on a bit.
Yeah, because you're able to like tap into like quite a universal emotion, I think.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I think as well, I've almost become more confident sharing more, because I think the more specific or weird you think something you've experienced is, like you'd be so surprised by how many people are like, oh my God. And it makes me feel less alone, and me feel like I'm connecting with people as much as it might help someone reading it.
Do you like have to work at that, or is that what comes quite natural to you?
I feel like every time you see your friends, normally you talk about something to do with relationships, and every single time I just have a list of different thoughts or things my friends are going through where I'm like, oh, that's such a thing. So it does come kind of easy in that way. Like maybe it's like you resenting a certain type of woman for some reason that might tap into, I don't know, there's like things I'm watching. And I feel like for me it's been really healing, because once you've noticed like patterns in the way you act, like now I feel like I'm just becoming healthier, because I don't know, like recently I've been thinking a lot about like how much I really need like male affirmation, and want to write a column about it, because you know when you're like on nights out and you're doing that thing where you're sort of looking to see if people are looking at you, and you can't even have fun because you're so aware of everyone around you. And I almost feel like I have two different brains on nights out, like one where it's like I'm with my friends, and then one's like I want to get with someone. And when I'm in the I want to get with someone, I'm just not really in the moment, and like I feel like once I've written something about that, it'll be like when I'm out, I'll see that pattern and they'll be able to not do that.
Yeah. So you're like literally learning as you go with your columns?
Yeah.
I think people will look at that and be like, that's such an amazing self-awareness, because most people just go out and like fuck up and then never put their like anything right.
Yeah, well I guess I wouldn't, it's such a like blessing, because I wouldn't probably think about it as much, or I mean I'd still probably like boring my friends sending really long voice notes about things, but probably be less talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I tend to think everyone fancies me.
That's good though.
It's so funny because it is kind of deluded, but like it is fun. I just noticed that's how my brain works. I tend to look at the more positive thing. Like I was on the tube the other day and there's a guy opposite me, and I really was like, thought we were like giving eyes to each other, and I was like coming home from the pub, and in my head I was like, oh God, just come and talk to me, it's fine, like did it. And then he just got off at his stop, and I was like laughing at myself because I was like, I made an entire story in my head in like 10 seconds.
What would your tips for a first date be?
I like going somewhere really chill, just a pub, or like go for a walk or something. I've literally never been on a walk for a date, so I don't know why I said that, but theoretically that would be cute. Not any like crazy golf or any activities, or like a museum. I feel like I'd get really overwhelmed trying to.
What if you don't go on dates often? Like, what would you say to someone?
To like get a date or
Get a date, and also like how do you psych yourself up? If you are,
the thing is, I always think first dates are so easy because they don't know any of your stories, so like you can come off really interesting so easily by just telling stupid anecdotes. But yeah, if you feel nervous, like ask questions, because then they have to talk. And yeah, I've tried to focus on this before nights out more, because I get so overexcited about nights out where I've started to feel really anxious. Do you know what I mean? I feel like anxiety and excitement are kind of the same feeling. And what I do is just don't rush, like really take my time, because I'll get in such a trying to get ready and like just get so stressed. So I think take your time, deep breathing, like don't start rehearsing conversation topics or anything, you know?
Be like present and just enjoy it.
Yeah, and again, defo classic cringe thing, but do just be yourself, you know? I feel like sometimes I'll not say things because I think I'll come off weird or intense. But I am quite a forward person. I don't know, I've defo in the past tried to be, you know, like when girls are really not banterous, but like
what is
sassy.
Yeah.
Which I'm more of like a wet flannel Labrador kind of vibe. Like I don't really suit being. It's just not me to be like that. And I've tried to be like that. It just isn't. It's like, why are you being rude? You know?
Yeah, sometimes it can go across like that.
Yeah.
So you just gotta be yourself.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like I am good at flirting and being like all coy, you know. I'll just do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you gotta find your like own. You gotta be yourself. You can't
believe
pretend.
in your own source.
Yes. That's a good thing. And you said you're writing a new book, which you can't talk about. But is there anything else that's like upcoming that you can talk about?
The paperback of the book.
The paperback is coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, in June. What else?
Would you ever make it into like a drama?
Maybe. We'll see.
If that happened, that would be good. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Really appreciate you giving us the time as well, because so many people are like buzzing about you doing this interview. So they're literally such big fans.
That's so nice.
Thank you.
Nice to meet ya, introduce ya.